5 minutes after the hour of 6 a.m., it's Thursday, March 14th, 2019, 26 degrees outside, and doesn't have a minus in front of it, Shane. I'm excited. 26 above.
Oh my God, it's double digits. You don't have to wear a toque.
No.
And you're going to mud boots. You're
Yeah.
going from snow boots to mud boots, and mud boot day. Yeah.
That's right. We're on our way. What could be better, huh?
Well, nothing than that, except it gets us 60 degrees and you can start getting that farmer's tan. They're so cool.
That's right. I love the farmer's tan. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Welcome, everyone. It's the KMMS Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane. Shane Talman on the line with me from Vancouver, British Columbia. Half man, half amazing, half Renaissance, half pitbull, half I don't know what else.
Junkyard dog.
Junkyard dog, yeah. There he is. Tom Eaglehoff, your morning mayor in the house. And
the righteous Eagle man.
Yeah, we got a full Thursday here. No guests, so it's going to be open lines all day long. So we can rock and roll on anything that you guys want to talk about. If you want to be a part of the big broadcast, 522-TALK is the number, 522-8255. Or text our show at 478-8298. 478-8298. And that, of course, is 406 area code as well, as we only have 406 in Montana. So,
so clearly a good choice.
Yeah, so I would pick that one.
I would too.
Pick the 406. Yeah. Well, let's take a look at our weather around the area here. It's pretty nice, actually. We're finally getting a little taste of spring. Spring's going to be showing up here about Thursday of next week. Or this, yeah. Well, the 21st, first day of spring, isn't it?
It sounds like an expected relative coming in next Thursday.
That's right.
You know, my relative will be arriving sometime around noon, and it'll be nice outside.
That's right. Well, we'll see. Anyway, we're looking for a high of 29 degrees. We're already at 26, so our chances of making that might be pretty good when the sun pops up. Not much snow at all. In fact, virtually no snow in the forecast anytime soon. And we dodged the 1 to 3 inches we were supposed to get overnight, and that kind of went away or went around us or went somewhere else. On Friday, we're looking at a high of 35, a low of 14, partly cloudy. Saturday, up to 38 and 17 the overnight low. And then 38 again on Sunday with 19 the overnight low, and 38 again on Monday with a 16 overnight low, and then it starts to warm up. Tuesday, 43, Wednesday, 48, and Thursday, 48, Friday, 45. So we're going to be in the 40s from, Tuesday to Friday at least, well, Saturday too, of next week. So... And virtually no snow, no precip, no nothing in there. Most of the days are partly cloudy to mostly sunny and sunny, so should be pretty nice in the immediate area of our listening audience. Livingston right now is 22 degrees. Manhattan's 20 degrees and cloudy. Three Forks is 22. And Gallatin Gateway is 23. Ennis is 19, Gardner is 18, Big Sky is 11, and at the airport in Belgrade right now it is 22 degrees. And at our lavishly appointed studios in downtown Bozeman, of course, it is 26 degrees above. I'm excited it's above. It's nice to be above zero.
No, you just like that word above.
I like above. Yeah, like saying above.
Instead of below.
Yeah. Well, all kinds of things happen on this day in history. Shane, in 1794, Eli Whitney received a patent for his cotton gin, an invention that revolutionized America's cotton industry.
It was, because it's such a brutal, plant, as we've talked about. Picking it by hand was just terrible. It's like a razor. The cone that holds the cotton and opens up in 5 pieces, and it's like a razor blade.
Oh,
it's
you got to be careful yanking that out. So, yeah. Well, and that was in 1794. They were still picking cotton in the South in the 60s by hand with slaves. So it's quite a deal. 1990, Congress ratified the Gold Standard Act. Act, Shane.
is this a great story?
That was a big deal, wasn't it?
Well, yeah, because after, in 1920, after the goldfish scandal during the Grant administration in 1874, and the great settlement that he had to make, they went on a gold standard, and it was basically to rate gold at one price globally. So that was $35 an ounce.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Second World War came along, and they said it again. And then everybody was happy until about, I think it was May of 1971, Nixon's president, and England and Germany asked to convert. They want to convert their dollars into gold because of the recession. So Nixon dumps on August 15th, 1971, big day in the calendar for you folks. Nixon took you off the gold standard so you wouldn't lose all your gold.
Yep. Big day.
and here we go.
And, that was the opening of the deficit door.
That's right. That's right. And so everyone should know the estimated total of gold produced so far in all of history, 175,000 tons. That's not much, folks.
No.
Not much at all.
I think we've said it's all the gold that's in existence right now is about the size of the Baxter.
80 by 80 foot. Yep.
Yeah, something like that. So we've always used that as a kind of a marker or a benchmark.
What's the right color? So when you drive by the Baxter every day, think about it as a big, huge.
Yeah, just think of it as a big lump of gold in the middle of Bozeman. There you are.
And Bozeman's the gold center of the world.
There you go. Well, in 1907, President Theodore Roosevelt signed an executive order designed to prevent Japanese laborers from immigrating to the United States as part of a gentleman's agreement with Japan. Japan agreed to keep their people there, and we agreed not to let them in.
And the big reason for this is that the Americans were having problems with the Japanese, but the Japanese were, they were importing 99% of everything.
Yeah.
And people should be reminded that at that time,
everything had made in Japan on it.
Oh yeah,
everything.
In the 1930s, the U.S. was the largest exporter of oil in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Other than Eastern Europe, of course, not the Middle East yet, but Eastern Europe was a big oil producer.
Yep.
But the U.S. was the biggest, baby.
We were number one.
And we're back there again. How cool is that?
That is cool. Yeah. Well, in 1923, President Warren G. Harding became the first chief executive to file an income tax return. And in $1923, he paid a levy of $17,990 on his $75,000 salary. That's a pretty big chunk out of there, Shane.
Yeah, he couldn't afford to keep the original check and framed it. He needed the money.
Yeah.
Well, when my oldest daughter Stephanie first got her first paycheck,
yeah,
I bought it from her.
Oh yeah,
I framed it and I gave it to her.
Oh yeah,
she was 16.
Yeah. Oh. In 1939, the Republic of Czechoslovakia was dissolved, opening the way for Nazi occupation of Czech areas and the separation of Slovakia.
Sad stuff's going on here, folks. We got to be careful because we're watching a repeat of that in Russia with, his invasion of the Crimea.
And the Ukraine and Syria and the whole area over there.
It's happening again, baby. I'm telling you.
Yep. 1951, during the Korean War, United Nations forces recaptured Seoul, the capital of South Korea.
Yeah, that was the brilliant MacArthur that it came from the bottom of the peninsula all the way up to the Incheon Bay and landed there at low tide and got ashore and went straight across the peninsula and cut off the Chinese. And then the guys came from the south and they squashed them. They squeezed them. They wiped them out.
Put them in the middle. In 1964, a jury in Dallas found Jack Ruby guilty of murdering Lee Harvey Oswald, the accused assassin of President John F. Kennedy, and sentenced him to death.
No one could argue with that. We all watched it on TV.
You know, it was years until I saw that
Really?
Years later.
Oh, I actually saw it as a kid.
Yeah.
When it actually happened, and as a kid, it was like he just shot that guy. I mean, I believe it on live TV.
Yeah, it was all over live TV, and I kept looking for it. They never replayed it, and I don't know. It's got to be, it's got to be 10 or 15 years after that I finally saw the video.
Oh, yeah. What was the one thing about it that, real quick? What was the one thing about it that you noticed of everybody in the room?
They flinched a lot.
All the Texas Rangers were over 6 feet tall and all wearing cowboy hats.
They were wearing cowboy hats, and they all were bigger than Oswald, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's right.
I do remember that. But well, in 1975, Monty Python and the Holy Grail, a send-up of the Legend of King Arthur, had its debut and would premiere in Los Angeles. So
great series. Great
great comedy
series.
team.
Oh, but yeah, all the movies they did, they were fabulous.
Mm-hmm. That's where Spam came from,
That's right.
Yeah,
that's right.
They're the originators of Spam for your computers. Yeah.
Yeah.
In 1980, a LOT, I guess it is, a Polish Airlines jet crashed while attempting to land in Warsaw, killing all 87 people aboard, including 22 members of the U.S. amateur boxing team. Wow. That was a big hit. That was the same year they won the Miracle on Ice.
2005, a judge in San Francisco ruled that the California ban on gay marriage was unconstitutional. Now, the reason this is important, folks, is, and this has to do with 2020. This is really important. There was a referendum on it in California, and it passed. Mm-hmm. But this is what's important about that referendum passing. 7 in 10 African Americans who went to the polls voted yes against gay marriage. Wow. And the judge that reversed it was Judge Vaughn Walker. And it didn't come out until after he retired from the bench. He was gay. So he should have, he should have, under the standard of U.S. Code Section 455 of the states, any justice or judge or magistrate judge of the United States shall disqualify himself in any proceeding in which his impartiality might reasonably be questioned. Well, Section 455 was not initiated that day. So there you go, folks. That's what happens when a judge, particularly liberal and gay, uses his power to overturn something he should never have been involved in. Yeah. Very bad. Very bad.
Yep, I would agree.
And the reason I bring this up is the election. If that many African Americans vote Republican, that's why the Democratic Party's in trouble.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Yeah. Well, in 1990, on this date, the Soviet Congress of People's Deputies held a secret ballot. The People's Deputies. I like that.
Yeah.
They held a secret ballot that elected Mikhail Gorbachev as the new powerful presidency of Russia, or the Union of Soviet Socialist Republic, as it was then, I guess.
And the amazing thing is, the first time in Russian or Soviet Union history, he dismissed the entire Politburo and put all people in that he knew.
Yeah. Yep. Well, we do that here too. Everybody automatically submits a resignation, and we take it or leave it.
I could be wrong, but I think he was from the Ukraine. I think he was a Russian born in the Ukraine.
Yeah.
I should check that out.
Yeah, you could do that. 1991, a British court overturned the convictions of the Birmingham Six, who had spent 16 years in prison for a 1974 Irish Republican Army bombing, and ordered them released. So there you go.
Amazing, isn't it?
Yeah.
There you go, buddy. There you go.
All right, we got to take care of our farmers here. We do have a farm report today, so I'm excited about that. So farmers, ranchers, truckers, and cab drivers will be, and maybe we should include FedEx and UPS drivers in there. I don't know.
All I know is I thank them for bacon and eggs.
That's
my
right,
favorite.
Man. Thanks for bacon and eggs. Right. Well, Shane and I'll be dishing in on that, and we'll be back right after this. 26 minutes after the hour of 6 a.m. It's Thursday, March 14, 2019, and 26 degrees outside. Welcome to the Morning Soapbox. Tom Eagle, your morning mayor, and the inimitable Shane Montalban is in Vancouver, British Columbia. What's up?
Well, one in particular farmer that's famous, and we should mention is for all you people that love McDonald's fries, is a farmer by the name from Idaho of Luther Burbank. And he picked the russet potato, which came from Ireland, and started growing it, and it's suitable for long French fries. And in 2009, McDonald's top tuber was the russet Burbank. So that's what every day you go into McDonald's, thank russet Burbank for your potatoes. But the sad thing is he couldn't patent it because such potatoes propagate from tubers. So he couldn't get a patent. Well, too bad. Can you imagine the fortune he would have made?
Well, I would think so, yeah.
I would have think so.
Well, what happened to the other guy, Luther?
I don't know. That was his brother.
Oh. But they had different last names?
No. It was Luther Burbank that did it.
Oh,
but
okay.
he couldn't patent it. I'm just saying. Too
Okay.
bad.
Well, that was too bad. Well, as we mentioned before, yesterday, in fact, the President Trump is going to award the Medal of Honor to Staff Sergeant and Bozeman High School graduate Travis Atkins, and posthumously. But a lot of people have voiced that what a great name for the high school. That
100%.
That we should consider that. And if you want to put Travis Atkins' name in, go to the bsd7.org, Bozeman School District 7.org, bsd7.org. Scroll down the page on the left-hand side. You'll see high school name, colors, mascot. And they are accepting names till the 20th, I think. So I think this would be the ideal time to maybe get a Travis Atkins groundswell of support going. And let's see if we can't name this high school after this local hero who gave his life for us, and certainly deservedly so. And I think that would be an outstanding tribute to him and his family to do that. So, All right, we got to duck out of here. Guess what? Montana State News. What else? Fox News. And what else? Brooke Foster Weather. Holy smokes! What a lineup! I'm ecstatic about this. This is going to be exciting. All this news and weather. Wow. Plus, there'll also be some other local guys talking to you, too. So, anyway, we will return. Shane and I, in spite of your cards, letters, and phone calls, we'll be back right after the news at the top of or bottom of the hour. I don't even know what time it is, and I really don't care. I'm just having fun here. So, Shane and I will be back right after this. 23 minutes before the top of the hour. It's Thursday, March 14, 2019, 27 degrees outside.
There you go.
Yeah, it's working fine.
Well, at least it wasn't the time.
No, it wasn't the time.
That's right.
23 minutes before the top of the hour. Welcome to the KMMS Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane. Shane and Tom in beautiful Vancouver, British Columbia in the Witness Protection Program. And Tom Eagle, your morning mayor here in beautiful downtown Bozeman. And, local news, a lot of it, Shane.
Wait. Before we get to local news, the Junkyard Dog wants to alert everyone listening.
Okay.
8 Montanans have won the Medal of Honor in 130 years of Montana military history.
Wow.
There were 2 from the Indian Wars, Cornelius Smith and John McLennan, and from the Philippine insurrection, John Moran, who served with the U.S. Volunteers before he died on the battlefield in September 1900. The first and only woman Medal of Honor recipient, Mary Edwards Walker. So, ladies, tell your daughters that it is possible for a woman to win the Medal of Honor. Mary Edwards Walker is one of the 1.8 million women veterans in the United States to have won the Medal of Honor for her service during the Civil War.
Wow.
Okay, we can go on now.
Okay. Well, in case you're wondering why are we talking about Medal of Honor winners, Travis Atkins is going to receive posthumously the award from President Trump. And a lot of people are thinking that would be the ideal name for the high school, the Bozeman Travis Atkins High School. And if you want to do that, if you want to suggest that name, the high school is taking names until March 20th, I believe. And all you do is just go to BSD 7, Bozeman School District 7, bsd7.org. Scroll down the page on the left-hand side, and you'll see high school name and mascots and colors and all of that. So click on that, and it'll take you to a form that you can submit your idea for the high school name or colors or mascot or whatever. So, but
no, and I'm going to recommend their mascot could be called, and this is not politically correct.
Yeah,
the Fighters.
Well, it could be, but why not warmongers?
Ooh, you have to drive it into the ditch, don't you? Come on.
Well, guess what, Shane? The ACLU at it again. Gallatin County District Judge denied a temporary restraining order against Sheriff Brian Gookin and the county jail that would have prevented holding an inmate on an immigration and customs enforcement hold, commonly called an ICE detainer.
My God.
Yeah, the request stems from a lawsuit filed by American Civil Liberties Union of Montana and the ACLU Immigrants' Rights Project against Gookin and Detention Center Administrator Jason Jarrett. The ACLU claims Gallatin County officials are exceeding their authority under Montana law by imprisoning people on the grounds that they may have committed a civil violation under federal immigration law. So, in other words, they crossed the border illegally and are a criminal.
There you go. Well, I think the opposite of that is Kansas and Vermont are paying college grads from their state to move to small towns in Montana. Yeah. They have to. This has got to be only offered to conservatives, right?
Yeah, we talked about that yesterday.
I know, but I just love that story. I think it's
well, you get $15,000 if you got a graduate degree. So
hey, there you go. You could buy a house in small town Montana for that.
Well, certainly a tiny house, maybe.
That's all that's there.
Trailer or whatever. But anyway, Luis Soto Lopez, the named plaintiff in the case, has been held in the jail since November 11, 2018, and immigration officials have placed a hold on him since then. Upon his arrest for misdemeanor, Soto Lopez's family tried to pay his $500 bail, which would have secured his release pending trial. However, the detainer asked local authorities to hold inmates for 48 hours after they would normally be released, regardless if he or she is acquitted at trial, post-bail, pleads guilty, so the immigration officials can pick them up. So there you are. I don't know. What are you supposed to do? I mean, it seems like a no-brainer to me. Let's see which. Okay, this guy, is speeding down 90 at 108 miles an hour. I don't think that's a big deal. It was night, and there wasn't anybody out there. We'll just turn him loose, And
yeah, exactly.
The bank robber, well, he didn't get that much money. What the heck?
Oh no, the FBI doesn't do that. No.
Okay, well, he robbed a 7-Eleven.
That's a different issue. If it's not on video, they can't prove it.
Yeah, he robbed Casey's Corners, and he got $5. So I don't know, and a lottery ticket. So, well, we'll just turn him loose. What the heck? I'm sure I'm sure he was just desperate for money at the time, and I'm sure he'd never do it again.
Of course not.
So I don't know. Since when do we decide which laws we're going to obey and which ones we're not?
Yeah, well, in the state, in governors in their states, under their state constitutions, are the chief law enforcement officer, like the president of the United States is federally. So yeah, there you go. It's your governor that chooses whether or not to prosecute people. So there you go.
Well, he's leaving, so.
He's leaving.
So. All right.
That's where you go. We're out of here.
Yeah. I got to take a break, but Noxitril warning. After the Bryan Law Firm 1 minute commercial, you're going to hear Noxitril for a minute. So be warned that, if you got kids around or people that don't want to hear about Noxitril, then turn your radio down. And after that is Big Sky RV. So if you come back and Big Sky RV's on, you're safe.
That's right. You're good. You're good to go.
Right. So anyway, Noxitril warning. Second commercial. All right, we'll be right back. 12 minutes before the top of the hour. This can be a pretty short break here because we've got
That's right.
got another big glump of commercials, but no Noxitril in them. But well, the other thing we wanted to chat about briefly while we're talking about local news. One of the things you and I have talked about is medical practice by membership. You pay a certain amount each month, and they take care of you. You just go in, and it's sort of like having a doctor on retainer.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So $99 a month is the medical practice coming to Bozeman using membership-based programs. Its physicians say Bozeman hasn't seen yet. Bozeman Primary Care will open in the Ferguson Farm development on April 1st using a direct primary care model. The model gives members unlimited office visits and access to providers via text, email, or phone. And members can also access primary and preventative care without having insurance or as the program is designed for people who have no insurance or a high deductible plan. So if $100 a month is affordable to you for medical care whenever you need it, for some people, I think that would be quite a nice deal.
Well, I think it's huge because the thing that really destroyed Obamacare was the deductibles. I mean, that you go in with a cold and a flu, you're not going to pay the $5,000 deductible. You'll just pay the bill. You go in with a kid with a broken arm, you're going to pay the $1,500, not the deductible. So, if you go in with some other bad news or surgery from an accident, then you'll pay the deductible. But yeah, this is great. That's $1,200 a year. That's wonderful.
Yeah. Well, it's certainly cheaper than some folks are paying, that have their own insurance. Oh. And so I'm not sure how far this goes, but as to what I don't think they're going to be doing knee replacements and stuff like that there. But
yeah,
but I mean for normal care of migraines or flu, colds, things like that. I think or measles, mumps, things like that. I guess whatever.
Well, and you picked this up 7 years ago. That all the benefits that are out there federally, like 49% of the American people don't pay for medical care already.
Yeah,
it's so weird.
Yeah. Well, to address that, people may enroll in the health sharing plan, which covers additional care that the Bozeman Primary doesn't offer. For an individual, a health sharing plan would probably cost about $150 to $200 a month, and Bozeman Primary will offer 10 to 20% discount on a health sharing plan if people sign up for the direct primary care membership. So
exactly.
So anyway, they're going to open April 1st, so get out there and get the info. If that fits your needs and it's affordable for you, then sounds like might be a good idea for a lot of people who need medical care, but the $400 a month is a little exorbitant, or $400 or more. But so this could be a niche for a lot of Bozeman citizens. So
absolutely.
All right, we got to take another quick break. No Noxitril. We'll be right back. 3 minutes before the top of the hour. It is Thursday, March 14th, and 2019. 25 degrees outside. Welcome to the KMMS Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane. Shane Taubman on the line in Vancouver, British Columbia. Tom Eagleoff, your morning mayor, in the house. And other things we need to chat about, Shane. We talked about the Yellowstone is going after bison. They're trapping some of them, and they got 23 so far over in the Yellowstone National Park. So sent an email that 23 were part of a group of about 500 that moved north of Mammoth Hot Springs. About 300 were spotted near the park's Stephen Creek capture facility and a set of corrals on the west side of the Yellowstone River near Gardner, where bison are trapped. So the park ordered an area closure around the capture facility last week, a move that comes each year just before trapping begins, and shipment to slaughter for the 23 will likely come next week. So meat from the slaughtered bison is distributed to the Native American tribes, and most complete numbers on bison removals will be posted to the Interagency Bison Management Plan website in about 2 weeks. So there you go.
Well, they are big. They are big animals. It's not herding. Or it's not like herding cats.
No, it isn't. They are pretty good size animals. I would agree with that. Well, the City Safety Center, the suit for that brought by Roger Koopman and some other folks, has been, the two state and local oversight bodies sided with Bozeman in the lawsuit, but they are going to continue on with it, apparently. The city argued that those claiming Bozeman broke campaign rules haven't offered substantial evidence that happened. I think all you had to do was look at their campaign materials and you'd know what happened. I mean, you couldn't swing a cat without hitting vote for the safety center.
There you go. Those cats are everywhere. I'm telling you.
Yeah. I don't know if you could get away. I don't know who's talking to the jury or whoever's listening to this case, but anyway, voters approved the project, as we know, with a 2/3 majority in November. The new building would house police, municipal courts, victim services, and a new fire station. They'll move the fire station from Rouse out to there. So that's how that's going to work. So, well, we'll see what happens. I don't know. I don't know what the recourse is. I don't think they're going to jail the city. So not sure. Maybe Krause will have to do it from his cell, I guess, huh?
Yeah. Right. Or either that or come in, with an orange jumpsuit on.
Yeah, there you are. Yeah.
Shackled and with a sheriff there.
That'll work. All right, top of the hour coming up. 5 things you need to know are coming up. So and more local stuff we haven't got to yet. So we'll be doing that as well, so stay tuned. A lot more to come today. We got open lines, no guest today, so give us a call, 522-TALK, or text us at our new text line, 478-8298. Back after this. 5 minutes after the hour of 7 a.m. It's Thursday, March 14, 2019, 25 degrees outside. Welcome, everyone, to the KMMS Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane. Shane and Tobin on the line in Vancouver, British Columbia. Half a kindred spirit.
Just half.
Just half. He's just half. He's half in the bag, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. There you go.
And, Tom Eagleoff, your morning mayor. From our text line, I just came up with a solution to the healthcare crisis, single-payer legal services. We can starve all the lawyers by guaranteeing free lawyers. It's a win-win, win-win deal. And also from our text line, welcome to Bleeding Heart Liberal Bozeman. Let's not forget we had a previous mayor that proposed to make Bozeman a sanctuary city. That was in regard to, we were talking about ICE and the ACLU earlier. And also, let's see, the mascot. We were talking about naming the high school after Travis Atkins, who posthumously is going to receive a Medal of Honor from Trump, and we thought his name would make a good name for the new high school. And the mascot should be the sergeants. After all, men and women can achieve that rank.
Wow.
So maybe they should be the yeah. So, but anyway, if you think the high school name should be named after the Medal of Honor winner, Travis Atkins, go to BSD, Bozeman School District, bsd7.org. And about halfway down the page on the left-hand side, you'll see high school name, mascot colors. Click on that, and it'll take you over to a form where you can formally tell them that you would like it to be the Travis Atkins High School. And
there you go.
We'll see how that works out. I think that's an excellent suggestion. It was someone who graduated from Bozeman High. A local person here, so why not? Why not name it after him? Be an honor for him and his family, and I think it'd be a good idea.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right, 5 things you need to know, Shane.
Here we go. Wind it up.
All right. Well, we've got, of course, Gerald Nadler is one of the gang of 4,
yeah,
going after Trump for impeachment and everything else. Anything else I can think of. So,
and it's great. 27 years in Congress. He's one of these rotating congressmen, I like to call him.
Yeah.
He elected in the 17th district in '92. Then he moved to the 8th district in '93. Yeah. And then he moved to the 10th district in 2013, all in New York. So
there you go.
I love these roving Democrats move around to get elected. That's great.
I thought he was in Florida for a while too. Wasn't he in Florida sometime or other?
Huh? Wow.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway. Yeah. But anyway, Nadler met with former acting Attorney General Matthew Whitaker on Wednesday and said Whitaker did not deny that President Trump called him to discuss Michael Cohen's criminal case in the Southern District of New York. In a public congressional hearing last month, Whitaker declined to discuss whether he had spoken with Trump about the investigation which implicated Trump in campaign finance violations. So.
Wow.
Once again,
crazy gate, buddy. More crazy gate.
Yep. I don't know if we're going anywhere with this, but
no.
I don't know. So anyway, from our text line 478-8298, have there been any other Medal of Honor winners from Bozeman? There are a lot of people from Bozeman who died in service, and I think you went through several of them this morning, Shane. Mm-hmm. Do you still have that somewhere handy?
Oh, I probably do.
Yeah. If not, we can do it after the break.
Montanans who have won the Medal of Honor. Yeah, there's 8 of them.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. And
one was a woman.
No, she wasn't a woman. I just wanted to mention to the women out there that one woman has won the Medal of Honor.
Oh, okay.
She wasn't from Montana.
Wasn't from Montana. Okay. All right.
But I wanted to mention that because I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
From the Civil War.
From the Civil War. She won the Congressional Medal of Honor. So we've had, 8 here? 8 Medal of Honor winners?
8 Medal of Honors.
In Montana? Or from Montana? All right.
Yeah.
Good deal. All right, let's take some phone calls. 522-TALK is the number, 522-8255. Call you on the Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane. What's up?
Hey, how you guys doing?
Good.
This is Aaron.
Yeah.
Hi, Aaron.
How you doing, Shane?
Good, buddy. Thanks for calling in.
Good. Yeah, I got a couple things. First of all, to the guy that said, or whoever said that name it, the mascot could be the sergeants because men and women can both achieve that status, that rank. Who cares?
Well,
you know what I mean? If you want to call them the sergeants, call them the sergeants. The guy was a sergeant, but who cares if this whole equality?
Well, they care because you get more pay, right?
Yeah.
The big deal is pay.
Yeah, I get that people becoming sergeants care, but the we've got to do everything politically correct is it's killing this nation, it's destroying it, whatever. But I don't care. And yesterday I said that, it's kind of with Obama not prosecuting these people for their cheating to get into college, because pretty much every minority out there, not everyone, but all the affirmative action minorities that get in there, they cheat to get in. And I want to retract that simply because we have as soon as that lawyer got sentenced, New York then piled on, right?
On.
What's that?
Are you talking about Cohen or are you talking about Manafort?
Manafort.
Uh,
And then they piled on so that Trump couldn't pardon the guy, right?
Yeah.
Okay, then.
well, they didn't really pile on. What they did is they charged him in state court in New York, and a president can only pardon people for federal offenses. A governor can pardon someone in his state for a state offense.
Right.
Yeah,
but that's not going to happen in New York. They could be able to do that. You know, Rush was saying yesterday they changed the law so they could be able to do that. So this is pure vindictiveness. It's pure vindictiveness on the Democrats' part. So I'd like to retract my statement. I think the Department of Justice needs to cross every Democrat's butt, find everything they did from birth to current, and prosecute them for it. Just the Democrats. You know, Comey went on there and exonerated Hillary Clinton illegally. It wasn't his position to do that. He laid out all the crimes she committed, and then said, "Yeah, nobody's going to prosecute this." And she's basically skated on all those crimes. And they want to take this old guy because he helped Trump win an election. And that's what this is all about. And if we don't do something about this, you know, as a society, pretty soon, like Lindsey Graham said, no good people are going to want to come forward.
Well, that's where we're moving to, that, good people are going to want to come forward.
Unless you're a Democrat.
And you saw Bruce Orr's wife's, Nellie, her testimony before, her testimony before the House was released. Mm-hmm. And she admitted under testimony that, way before they started the investigation on Trump for collusion and everything, that with regard to the Hillary issue, they went to the Justice Department and they were told not to prosecute. They were told, come up with some reason not to prosecute her. So I mean,
that's crazy.
Now it goes right to Loretta Lynch. This is going to go to the White House. You wait and see. All the way to the White House, the Oval Office. It's going there.
Hmm.
Well, and I hope so. I hope all those people burn in hell, kind of where I'm at on it. It's I don't know, man. We voted, we won an election, we worked hard. For 8 years we've been working to set this country straight. I have been. Well, I mean, I really haven't been working that hard. It's been voting. But a lot of people have. And they put a lot of sweat and energy into this, and they got Trump elected to fix all this. And Washington, D.C., the establishment, politicians are saying, screw you guys. And it's pretty upsetting, man. That's all I got to say.
All right. Thanks for the call, man. All right, we're up against a break here. We've got to remind you of Kitabaloo. That's coming up. It's presented by the Bozeman Health Pediatrics. And it's April 6th, 10 to 3. Tickets are on sale at Tickets West and the Brick Breeden ticket office. And they've got a limited number of tickets, four packs for $10. But those won't be available after this Sunday, March 17th. So make sure you get in on that deal. Let's see. They're going to have a bouncy zone. They're going to have a performance stage. The Raptors will be there. Fairy godmother folks. There's a circus guy there that's going to do juggling and clowning and aerial rope stuff and all that kind of thing from the circus. And they got Montana PBS characters are there. Curious George for sure. Popular children movie and story characters, circus performers. Smokey the Bear will be there. Montana Raptors are going to be there. The balloon artists are going to be there. Face painting is going to be there. And Pam Williams race car will be there. And the fire department, you can climb around on the fire trucks and streamline buses and all of that. And boy, there's all kinds of attractions out there. And boy, you want to get over there. And I was going to suggest, if you're a grandparent out there, give the mom and dad a break. Take the kids, take your grandkids to Kitabaloo. 10 to 3, you'll be a hero. Take them up there. They'll have all kinds of fun and everything. And mom and dad can, maybe go out to lunch or enjoy each other or just kick back while the kids are gone.
Yeah, that's right.
Just have a good time. So, Kitabaloo.
And a good cause.
That's right. And it is a good cause. Yeah, it's presented by the Bozeman Health Pediatrics Center here in Bozeman. And it's Saturday, April 6th, 10 to 3. Tickets, you get a 4-pack of 10 for $10, and those are going to go up in price after the 17th. So make sure you get them, and you can go to ticketwest.com. to get your tickets. And we'll be right back with more right after this. 21 minutes after the hour of 7 a.m. It is Thursday, March 14, 2019, 25 degrees outside. Welcome to the KMMS Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane. Shane Matabin on the line in Vancouver, British Columbia. And, of course, Tommy Goliff, your morning mayor in the house. No guest today, so open lines. Anything that's on your mind, give us a call. 522-TALK is the number, or you can text us at 478-8298. And we're in the 5 things you need to know, Shane. So number 2, Beto O'Rourke is going to get in the race. Boy, I don't know.
Well, his proper name as an Irishman is Robert.
Yeah, I know.
And Robert in Mexican is Beto. So all those people out there want to know how he got the name Beto.
Yeah.
He decided to be sounding Spanish by, taking the Spanish name for Robert. Very interesting. Yeah. Went to college, got into punk music, became a band musical. He got into learn to play musical instruments, and went to Columbia University, and he eventually became a vocalist for a band at the Drive-In and Mars Volta. So there you go. Together they formed the band Foss, and then, well, what can I tell you?
Well, you can tell me that he hasn't done any much in politics. You can tell me that.
Well, no, started in city council, then congressman, and now, he tried to run for the Senate, and now he wants to be president.
Yeah. Well, no notable bills introduced or anything like that anywhere he's been. So. But
the one thing that hurt him in the race against Cruz, right?
Yeah.
It was disclosed that he got arrested for DWI, in which he walked away, and then he said he tried to impersonate and say he was his brother.
Well, okay. So,
I'll tell you.
So he is a politician after all.
Yeah, crazy kid, baby. It's all over the place.
So that'll work, yeah. Well, I know Rahm Emanuel, the mayor of Chicago, when he heard he was thinking about running for president, he says, since when does our party nominate losers? Jeez. So, wow. Well, you got the gal from Alabama that's running also who lost.
That's right.
Yeah, so she's thinking about jumping in the race, and so I don't know, man. I think they're up to 11 or 12 now, probably 13 or 14 with Beto and the gal from Alabama being in there. So, but anyway, Beto's a former congressman from El Paso, announced his candidacy on Thursday morning, throwing his hat in the crowded ring, told the El Paso TV station he was entering the race in a text message Wednesday night and teased the decision in a new Vanity Fair profile. So O'Rourke rose to national prominence last year during his run to unseat Ted Cruz, a race he narrowly lost. And he's also pretty famous for dropping the F-bomb in all his live performances running around wherever he is. So stay tuned for that.
It'll be really interesting because he raised over $100 million for the Senate race against Cruz. So I'm curious to see how much money he raises for his presidential campaign.
Well, obviously he's got a good start. If he's getting that kind of money, certainly I think there are going to be some people. Well, a lot of folks like somebody of his ilk. He's young. He's not a bad-looking guy. He's charismatic. Those are all the things that'll attract the Democrats over some of these old ladies and, Biden being 70. And, the Democrats are always looking for the next John Kennedy.
I know.
And this guy fits that bill. If Kennedy's son had survived, he'd be a shoo-in, for
New York.
Yeah. Well, I think he'd win the national, too. But, unless he's completely incoherent. But I don't know.
Well, we'll see. You know what? The debates will really make the decision. Well, and the Mueller report, which tomorrow's the Eyes of March. Yep. Tomorrow he'll release it on the Eyes of March. He'll release a report tomorrow.
You think so?
Yeah, Mueller will. Yeah. The Eyes of March
on Friday. A no news day Friday, huh?
Oh yeah, they always do it on Friday because they want the weekend, review.
Yeah.
News cycle, but more importantly, the Eyes of March.
You think so? Okay.
Oh yeah.
Well, I don't know. I'm not sure Mueller is the Shakespearean you are.
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
Well, remember 2 years ago they had that play in the park in New York,
Yeah.
in Central Park, Trump
Yeah.
Caesar being stabbed at the.
Yeah, I do remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, that was bad.
Yeah. I don't know. Well, Manafort just keeps making news.
120 months, 8 years.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. Well, 7.5 anyway. Yeah, they added another 73 months to his sentence. And then as soon as he walks out the door, they hit him with 16 felony counts in New York. So we'll see. He's going to end up in court again. So,
but the amazing thing about this call is U.S. District Judge Amy Berman Jackson.
Yep.
Favorite choice by Trump to replace Ginsburg.
Yep.
So be interesting if he does, and at her hearing, them questioning her about this sentencing.
Mm-hmm.
How cool would that be?
That would be cool, yeah. Well, he was sentenced to 47 months in prison out of a possible 24 years, and then 30 months of the two sentences will be conserved concurrently, bringing his total sentencing to about 7.5 years. And minutes after the sentence was announced, the Manhattan District Attorney's Office indicted Manafort on 16 entirely new charges, including mortgage fraud. And
crazy gates alive, because you notice how on all the your media, they get talking points from the Democrats every day, and the talking point yesterday was, if Paul Manafort didn't work for Trump, he'd never been caught.
What?
Yeah.
Well, maybe. Let's take a phone call for the bottom of the hour. Caller, you are on the Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane. What's up?
Hey, Shane and Tom, it's Kevin.
Hey, Kevin.
Hey, guys. Hey, Biden is 76, so by the time he would be president, he'd be 78 when he first starts.
I know, yeah.
So, I mean, that's just not going to fly. But what's funny is that, there are all these, the young people getting in, all this excitement over, Cortez or whatever her name is.
Yeah.
And how they're talking about how they want diversity and young people and women and transgender candidates. And the top two candidates for the Democrats are Biden and Bernie Sanders.
I know, yeah.
White guys.
Yeah, but Biden will not declare until the Mueller report's out. Because if the Mueller report's going back to the Obama White House, he's won't
out.
Run.
He's out.
But I mean, this is such the lie of the Democrat Party. They talk about all this diversity within their party, and their top two candidates are old, rich, white guys.
There you go.
It is hilarious.
There you go. Hey, thanks, Kevin.
All right.
All right. All right, we got to pay a couple bills here. We'll be back after the news at the bottom of the hour, and we'll take more of your calls, and we'll continue on with the 5 things you need to know right after this. 23 minutes before the top of the hour. It's Thursday, March 14th, 2019, 26 degrees outside. Welcome to the KMMS Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane. Shane Mataman in Vancouver, British Columbia, and Tommy Goloff, your morning mayor. We got a caller waiting. Let's go to the phones. 522-TALK is the number, 522-8255. Caller, you on the Morning Soapbox. What's up?
Hey, it's Andy. I just wanted to rebut this earlier caller. He was talking about diversity within the Democratic Party and the Democratic Party frontrunners. Just a couple of things. Yeah, I'm not always going to vote for the Democratic Party, but when I hear untrue statements on the air, I'm going to have to rebut those. So, yes, the two frontrunners are old white dudes. I encourage us to go back and look at the 2016 Republican lineup. Bunch of old white dudes, to be honest with you.
Pretty much, yeah.
I encourage us to go look at Congress right now, who actually is sitting in Congress, and the diversity. You go look at the Republican side of things, you're going to see 95% old white dudes or young white dudes. There's not a whole lot of women, certainly no people of color. You look at the Democratic side.
Well, there are people of color there are people of color in the Senate.
Maybe two.
Yeah.
There's more people of color that are involved in elected positions with the Democratic Party, much more so than the Republican Party. So I just wanted to make that point clear. And does anybody have anything to say about it? I'd love to hear what they have to say, because those are the facts. Yes.
Well, mostly because a lot of the representation of parties are in urban areas where blacks are prominent.
It's not just blacks.
And people
it's
of
women.
color.
It's
Well, women too.
Women
Yeah,
too.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not just blacks
No.
or people of color. It's women. So and I didn't see one woman standing on that stage in 2016.
Oh yes, you did.
Yeah, you did.
California.
Are you kidding?
Who
Are you
was
kidding?
it? Nikki Haley?
No.
No.
In 2016, there was.
Who? Let's think about it. Think about it.
Hewlett Packard, the CEO.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. My bad.
Yep.
Okay, my bad.
And we also
So
had a
there's
black,
one-
and
there's-
we also had a
there's
black,
one.
and Ben Carson was also
Yeah.
up there.
Okay, a black man.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's
Yeah.
start naming off. Let's start naming off some senators and House reps.
Well, you can do
That are
that.
people of color.
Well,
the
hang on, hang on.
African-American senator from South Carolina.
Yeah. Well, hang on, because this election.
I guess my point is, and I'll leave it with this.
Okay.
My point is that the Republican Party is not nearly as diverse as the Democratic Party, and all you have to do is go look at the congressional numbers and see who's elected on the state and national levels, and you'll see it's the fact.
No,
So-
you're absolutely right.
wait.
You're absolutely
The
right.
majority of Democrats are old white men. So
No,
I
they're
don't
not.
understand.
Go
They
look.
are.
Maybe the front runners are right now, but go look throughout the party as a whole. No, they're not.
The longest standing members of the House and the Senate are all Democrats.
And
Well, you have term limits every 2 years, and they keep electing the same people.
so do the Republicans. I mean, the
That's not
Republicans
diversity, my friend. That is not diversity when you keep electing the same people.
I'm talking about diversity on a color level and gender level. I'm not talking about term limits here.
That shouldn't have anything to do with it.
Hang on, Shane.
Don't try to change the context of the situation here.
I will tell you, and we reported on this, Andy, that this time around in the Senate and in the House, there were more women elected, there were more women of color elected, and they were on the Democratic side. I will agree with that. That is simply a fact.
Sure. And overall, up and down the ticket throughout the country, state legislatures, governorships, all up and down. People of color and
I'll
women,
agree.
and there is more diversity throughout the party.
I'll agree.
So,
yeah.
Yes, you can rail on Bernie Sanders and Joe Biden. Absolutely. You know what? I like Bernie, but I would like to see some younger diversity within the Democratic Party. But at the end of the day, don't sit there and bash them when you're just being a hypocrite in yourself, when you're not going to sit there and bash the Republicans too. And that's all I really have to say.
Okay.
Wanted to give a
Well,
different
we didn't bash either one, but it was
Yeah.
caller that did. So don't.
Well, the
don't come after us.
caller. Not you guys. I'm rebutting the caller. Not
Okay.
you guys.
All right. Thank you. All right.
All right. Y'all have a good one.
Thanks for the call. 522 Talk is the number. Call you on the air. What's up?
Good morning. This is Charity.
Hey.
I love
Good morning,
calling
Charity.
Andy here. So I would say I am a woman, and I could care less how many women are on the podium for candidate for president. And the reason is that, once again, very important to judge a person by the content of their character and by their policy rather than by
Agreed.
what they look like. So there's no way I would have voted for that woman who was the head of Hewlett Packard. Anyway, and I'm a woman, so I'm not just going to vote for a woman because I'm a woman. But that's not why I called.
Okay.
Okay.
So I was curious if you guys are familiar with the Young Turks,
Yes.
and are you familiar with them current day as well as in the Ottoman Empire?
Yes.
Okay. I'm thinking about the Young Turks that are the political guys on TV.
Yes. So
Not the Turks from the Ottoman Empire.
I'm referring to both of them.
Okay.
So they took their name from
Yeah,
the
from
Turks
there.
from the Ottoman Empire of, I
Yeah.
believe it was a faction who were the ones who wreaked genocide on the Armenian people.
Yes.
But the political group took their name from that group. Anyway, I was curious if you guys have any information concerning how that group was influential in getting Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez elected,
Ooh.
and as well as 6 other people, including Rashid Tlaib. And anyway,
I don't know. I will tell you, it's if you want a good laugh, go over to YouTube and look up the Young Turks election night and watch them giggling at the beginning and cursing at the end.
I'll skip the cursing.
Well, yeah, there. It's pretty
anyway,
bad.
I heard a report this weekend. My husband and I watched this report about a young man who had attended CPAC just recently, and he had done some investigating and had discovered that the Young Turks had put out a casting call in which they interviewed, I think, over 10,000 people to play a role as congressmen. And Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez had been
one of them
signed up for that role by her brother. And that's how she ended up in the role.
Well, I don't know. I'm up against the clock, Jared.
Okay.
I'm sorry, but I've got to take a break.
Anyway, I want more information.
All right, I'll put Shane on that, and we'll see what we can find.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. All right, we've got to take a quick break out of here. We'll be right back. 10 minutes for the top of the hour, and it's Thursday, March 14th, 27 degrees outside. Tom Egelhoff, your morning mayor. Welcome to the KMMS Soapbox with Tom and Shane. Shane and Tom on the line. What's up, man?
Well, this is for charity.
Yeah.
So Congressman Beto O'Rourke was on the YouTube podcast of Cenk Uygur, and it's called The Young Turks. So you can go to YouTube and look up The Young Turks. And it was October 18th, 2017, and they were discussing him running for Senate. And he was saying that if he did, he wasn't going to take any corporate money. But he'd take all the money from Hollywood he could get.
All right.
So there you go, charity.
Okay, thanks. Well, let's take a phone call. 522-TALK is the number. Call you on the air. What's up?
Good morning, Tom. This is Nikisha.
Hi.
Excuse me. And good morning, Shane. That would be 1/3 Renaissance man, 1/3 amazing, and 1/3 pitbull.
There you are. All right.
Just a side note for those young people that had this new math crap, or people who just have trouble with math. I had to say thirds because if I said half man, half amazing, half Renaissance, half pitbull, Shane would look really weird being a man and a half.
Yes, he would. He looks really weird being just a man.
Okay, and Tom, back to you.
Thank you both very much.
Tom, back to you. I have listened and found that you are a man of your word.
That's what makes him the righteous eagle man. Don't you agree?
Well, okay. I guess.
Aren't you going to ask how I know
How do you know that? How do you know that?
Good. Very good.
Well, yes, I've heard your kind of adopted theme song that you're playing top of every hour. Boys are back in town.
Yes.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, now, on to more important things.
Yes.
So we've got 2 organizations that sound very similar if you just say the letters. ACLU, ACLJ. But they are at total opposite ends of the moral and political spectrum when you look at the organizations themselves. Did you guys hear on 60 Minutes what the ACLU did concerning the Kavanaugh hearings?
No.
Apparently, those women that were lobbying and protesting, the senators that were on the committee on the, for the nomination. Apparently, the ACLU paid all those women to be lobbying and protesting.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
So, I thought the ACLU was supposed to be bipartisan. If someone's civil liberties if someone's civil liberties are being squashed, then the ACLU takes up your case. Well, what about Kavanaugh's civil liberties?
Yeah.
I mean, doesn't he count?
Yeah.
Good point.
With no proof, they're paying these women to do all that awful stuff. Now, the ACLJ, on the other hand,
American Center for Law and Justice, yeah.
There you go, Shane. You got it. Okay. So who's the head of the ACLJ? Shane?
Don't want to go there.
Jay Sekulow.
I know.
Jay Sekulow. Now, I've heard that Jay Sekulow has been asked to be on the president's legal team.
He is, yes, that's right. Yeah.
So Jay Sekulow, I don't know him personally, but I've listened many, many times to his broadcast. It started out as a half-hour program at noon Eastern, I think it was, a call-in program. Yeah. And they take up the cause for many Christian and moral suits and lawsuits and so forth. And
yeah, the one that put them to the forefront was the IRS tax deal with Americans trying to set up PACT, back during the Obama administration, and the big scandal that it resulted. But go ahead, I'm sorry.
Yeah, and Jay Sekulow has argued many cases in front of the Supreme Court in the United States.
Yeah, brilliant man.
And he has spent a lifetime establishing a squeaky clean reputation for his organization, the ACLJ. And I can't imagine if he had any inkling of any shady dealings with President Trump, that President Trump was involved with any shady dealings, I can't imagine that Jay Sekulow would even consider being on his legal team, because I know
Pat Robertson set it up in 1990. You couldn't have Pat Robertson set it up and it'd be bad.
We'll see. I got to take a break. I'm sorry, I'm up against the clock here. But hey, thanks for the call.
Okay. All right.
All right. Bye-bye. Be right back. All right. Well, we're back with a mess of commercials, mess of time, mess of everything. So we are going to have to duck out of here pretty quickly because top of the hour is coming up, and we will. We've already got our thing playing. We got a ton of text messages I got to get to the 8 o'clock hour, Shane. So if you text us, stay tuned. I'm going to get all your text on the air when we come back after the break at the top of the hour. So stay tuned. A lot more, I almost said a lot more open for business to come. But old habits die hard, huh, Shane? All right, we'll be back right after the news. 5 minutes after the hour of 8 a.m., it is Thursday, March 14th, 2019, Thursday pre-Friday. Temperature's 27 degrees outside. Welcome to the KMMS Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane. We've had a caller patiently waiting on the line. So, caller, you are on the air. What's going on?
Good morning, gentlemen. This is Ernie. How are you guys?
Doing great.
Good. I got a fast two-pronger. I want to shift the vocal spotlight back a minute to Charity and her comment about the Young Turks. Did anybody besides me notice a couple of weeks ago when the coroner up in Butte had passed away and his memorial was being held, that the Eastern Shrine fez that he wore was on display on one of the memoriam tables? And did anybody notice the all-capitalized word attached to the front of that fez?
No, but it's got to be from Turkey.
It is. It was a word pronounced as Hanaseri. I'll read this quickly out of my 1945 Webster's, so nobody can say this is my opinion. The fez the man would put on his head, it was spelled Janizary, and the meaning that it has is a soldier of a body of Turkish infantry. Remember the word infant. Tie that to Young Turks. That existed from the 14th century, consisting at first of slaves and later forming the main fighting force of the Turks, until that army was abolished in 1826. Also, it means any Turkish soldier. And, of course, that's the East India Shrine. So that brings it a little close to home, and considering the invasion that we seem to be experiencing at the hands of the Muslims, who, I give you my word, are in the hands of another group who will just leave nameless so we don't incite right across the valley. They're all tied into this together. And why are they, right in our local mortuaries, right in our local leadership positions? Well, how come this is happening? There's a deeper web, a deeper system of linkage going on here than what is shown on the face. Okay, that's number one. Number two is for the last caller, the lady that was talking about the ACLJ. For the legal minds out there, the people who want to know what, research the Younger abstention, just like the James and Cole Younger gang of yesteryear, the Younger abstention of 1975. Beware, the SCOTUS has handcuffed, literally, the inferior federal district courts to foreclose on them and prevent them from performing constitutionally mandated remedy in equity. The younger
There you go.
I'm done, boys. You guys have a great day.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Hey, thanks for the call. Appreciate it. All right.
And just so we know, because this is important, because what the caller just mentioned, when Turkey became a republic, the first president, Mustafa, after the Ottoman Empire, after World War I, Mustafa Kemal outlawed the fez because of its, cultural, and he made the country secular. So he outlawed the fez. So there you go.
All right. Well, from our text line, we got a bunch of them, Shane. Our text line, 478-8298. I am a white woman, and how I vote has nothing to do with race or gender. I vote for a person who believes in the Declaration and Constitution of the United States as originally written and intended. And Carly Farina was the name we were looking for earlier.
There you go.
So Texter helped us out with that. Let's see. When the high school was in the Wilson downtown, they were the Warriors. We could have the Atkins High Warriors. Hey, Aaron, did you not expect the backlash coming out of Washington, D.C.? Trump is shedding light on all the cockroaches in D.C. from all parties. Shane, this DOJ scandal already goes all the way to Obama. Lynch exposed emails from Hillary to the President of the United States, so Obama knew she was using a private server, so Obama lied to us about that. So
there you go. Crazy game.
Yeah. All right. Well, we got lots more, so hang on.
Yeah, I know. I was talking to a caller and they had a question.
Oh, okay. Let's see. Trump cabinet is the whitest and wealthiest in U.S. history. Look out for the common man. Looking out for the common man, I should say. 123 women in Congress, 19 are Republican. To Andy, the point is gender and race don't matter except to the racist left. And yes, but the Republicans don't stand on the mantle of diversity for diversity's sake. Dems are hypocrites. How about we look at merit and not color or sex of the individual? So Andy admitted he's a racist. People should be in office according to color. All right. It should be noticed, Mueller is a Republican nominated by Bush. He is a Vietnam War hero, Manafort, Russian crook, sent. All right.
There you go.
That works. And let's see. So I think that covers all of them that we've got so far. So I'm looking down to make sure I didn't miss any. I don't think so. Let's see. Maybe I missed this one. Nope, that was from something else. So yeah, I guess looks like we got everybody taken care of on the text line, Shane. So
yeah, looks like everybody that's going for water and talking about Crazy Gate.
Well, pretty much. I don't know, man. It's a jungle out there, so they say anyway.
So I was on the phone. A caller was going to ask about pilgrims abandoning communism.
Mm-hmm.
It's an amazing story. It's true. When they landed in 1620, they elected. I'm trying to think of his name again. What was his name? Anyway, they elected a governor, Bradford, and they set up the commune like a kibbutz because of the Old Testament, and it failed. And he wrote about it extensively. Governor Bradford basically saying that it wasn't communism then, but that communism in their form failed because of the corrupt nature of humans. So
they almost starved that first winter because
that's right.
Only a few people planted food, and the rest of them sat around waiting for the other person to do all the work, and then they were going to share the food, and so that didn't work out very well.
Yeah, that was 1623. Yeah. 3 years later, they basically ran out of all their stores, and like you said, they couldn't. And if it wasn't for the Indians,
and Indians brought them food,
and
they wouldn't starve.
That's right.
Let's go to the phones. 522 Talk is the number. 522-8255. Calling you on the Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane. What's up?
Well, good morning, Tom and Shane.
Hey.
You know, Tom, you said that the Democrats are looking for the next JFK.
Yeah.
Well, JFK would be a Republican today.
Well, probably. He was a tax cutter. He was,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, he was going to break the CIA into a million pieces.
Yeah.
You know, and the other thing, we remember the term, speaking of Manafort, and I'm not sticking up for him, is the term liar's loans promoted by the government through the bankers. Now, I would suggest that if everybody that was guilty of putting false information on the loan form, we wouldn't have enough jail cells to house them all.
Well, that's true. And, you know, I'm glad you brought this up because this is an example of the failure of your intelligence services since the 1950s. They didn't know about Sputnik. They misinformed Kennedy about Cuba and the Cuban invasion. I mean, you know, throughout your history, your intelligence services haven't made good calls or haven't made calls at all.
Right. And lastly, you try this one on. You know, they keep telling Trump, well, you can't just willy-nilly take money from over here and put it over there. You can't do that. However, if we go back a few years here, what did we see? We saw Mr. Barack Obama rob Fannie and Freddie investors of billions to do what? Pay for Obamacare. So, you know, you talk about a justice system that's lopsided, you know, and then now they're saying that Lynch is the worst leader of the DOJ, you know, that we've had. What about Holder?
Well, I know they followed each other.
Yeah.
You know, and he was worse. Believe me, he's, you know, Fast and Furious. There was a lot of people killed with those weapons.
Oh, yeah.
Including one of our own. But there was a lot of people killed below the border with those things. Now, to me, that's aiding and abetting. But I guess because
you know what the sad thing is that Obama's legacy is going to be that he needed African Americans, you know, as you just mentioned, the two AGs to weaponize the U.S. government, and that's going to be the sad thing.
Well, if they even mention him, they don't even want him to build his library.
I know they took back that parkland from him in Chicago.
It's not going to have any books, and it's not going to have anything in there that's bad for Barack. I mean, you know.
What, a whole bunch of Michelle's sleeveless dresses will be in there, I guess?
Well, when Crazy Gate's over, nobody's going to want to go to it and see what terrible things happen.
Well, if there's no books, what kind of library is that?
Yeah.
It's all CDs.
Yeah.
Sit down, plug in, and listen up.
That's it.
Well, the interesting thing about Loretta Lynch, one of the last things she did before she left the AG's office, she sealed all of Obama's records. So it'll be interesting to see when and if those become unsealed.
Never.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Never. You're not going to see that. And you know, and I said a long time ago on your show, Tom, that the person they were protecting with all this Mueller crap is Obama.
Yeah, I think he's. I think he's super insulated. I don't think
You do?
Yeah, I do. He's super insulated. They're not going anywhere near him.
So Hillary.
Yeah, they're not going to go anywhere near her either.
I don't.
Well, they're starting to talk. And what did Obama know, and when did he know it? That's the old Nixon saying.
Talk's cheap.
He's guilty, Shane. He's guilty of sin, but you're like, and it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You know, the justice system we have today, if you can call it that, it don't matter whether they're guilty or not.
Did you just hear Tom slam me that talk is cheap? He says that because I'm here free. You know that. I'm a Canadian here free, so he has to slam me about my free talk. Give me a break.
Even if I did pay him, it'd be 30% less.
Well, gentlemen, you have a good day. I'll get off the phone.
All right.
Let somebody else in there.
All right, take it easy. Thanks, Pete. All right. Got a couple more text lines we got to read here, Shane. Haven't been able to listen too much lately, but have you talked about the Justice Democrats who picked and groomed and ran the campaign of AOC are very firmly backed by Yeager and the Young Turks? So, yeah, we did talk about that earlier. And by the way, if you can't listen, hey, we're recorded every day. Go to KMMSAM.com and click on Tom and Shane's podcast, and you'll hear every show in its entirety without commercials and without bumper music. So,
and the word of the day is download.
Yeah. Where did Obama get the billions in cash to pay off Iran? I didn't have any pushback from either house. So, yeah, talk about moving money around for something.
Yeah, he took it from the State Department.
Yeah.
That's where he got it. Yeah.
All right. We got to take a quick break, and we'll be back with more right after this. 23 minutes after the hour of 8 o'clock. It is Thursday, March 14th, 2019, and happy to have you along with us. The Morning Soapbox, KMMS Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane. Shane and Tom on the line with me from Vancouver, British Columbia. 1/3 man, 1/3 amazing, 1/3...
junkyard dog.
That's right. It ought to be a quarter of all those things, right, I guess. Okay. We got 4 things going on here for you. So, anyway, he's more than just a pretty face, folks. We're very privileged to have him as part of our morning. So,
not as privileged as the phone callers. Boy, they've been great today, haven't they?
We have had some good phone calls, some good text lines. From our text line, the Book of Plymouth Plantation relates that the Plymouth colony, under contract before they left England, intended to retain the commune for 7 years and then allot private land to each family based on the number of sons. So they were for the free market from the very beginning.
Well, there you go.
Also from our text line, 478-8298. We were the Warriors when we were in the 7th, 8th, and 9th grade junior high at the Wilson, and our colors were red and white in the last class there. So there you go.
Well, there you go.
Yeah. And let's see. I wonder if those Obama Fast and Furious weapons were used in Vegas. They shut that investigation down ASAP. Wow, that's an interesting theory. Huh?
That's an easy, yeah, wow.
All right, keep hearing from the, get it where I can see it here.
Okay.
Keep listening from the fascists about bringing the country together. How will they go about that? More racism, taking away freedom, stealing more of my money, not voting for the Democrats. So there you are.
That's
I know, that was a good one, wasn't it? Yeah.
Water cooler.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're caught up on our text lines here for the moment. Looks like so.
Good.
Looks like we're in good shape. So we can. We still haven't finished the 5 things yet, Shane.
No, I know. We're so busy with callers. It's great.
This has been great. All right. Well, number 4 on the 5 things you need to know: the Senate votes to cut off U.S. support for the war in Yemen, and that's a mess over there, Shane. That in Syria, I don't know if there's probably when everybody's dead, this will be done.
Well, and the amazing thing about this is that the Saudis fighting this war, and they're not showing themselves to be very profound with fighting. Yeah. And so it's got to lend the concern to the family, about, well, we sort of need this military to keep control of our country.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sort of.
We're knocking it off in Yemen. Maybe we shouldn't be doing this.
Yeah. Well, the coalition is fighting the Iran-backed Houthi rebels, but during bombing campaigns, and civilians have been killed, and aid's been blocked. The UN has called for what is happening in Yemen, the world's worst humanitarian crisis. Can't believe it's worse than Syria, but I guess probably it is. But
anyway. the big danger is it gives if Iran get control of Yemen, then they have both sides of the Strait of Hormuz covered. Mm-hmm. So on one side, that's a big problem.
That would be it. Let's take a phone call. 522-TALK is the number, 522-8255. Caller, you're on the Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane. What's up?
Hey, morning. The issue, Trump was claiming that he was trying to defeat the deep state. But it's pretty clear. Yeah, it's pretty clear that he's part of the deep state. That Manafort and Stone, who were managing dictators for 40 years, were working for the deep state. The dictators that they were.
I did. Who did you say?
Manafort and Stone.
I'm sorry.
Were managing the lives of dictators. They started with Marcos. There was Boko Sese Sese. There was John Taylor. There were a total of 6 of them, and then they were involved in 7 other coups. So, and in fact, you remember Manafort's just been convicted of tax fraud. Mm-hmm. Well, that was because he had accepted the highest number I heard was $61 million for helping do a coup in the Ukraine.
He had a bunch of money, man. It was. I don't know. They went through it the other day, and how it was in the, not just in the millions. It was in the tens of millions.
Right. Yeah. And you only get paid that kind of money for running a coup.
Well, I don't disagree with you, but just answer this, okay? Answer this for me. So you remember that interview that Trump did with 60 Minutes when they asked him about coups and everything and intelligence services, and they were going after him about Russia and how bad it was, and he said, "Well, America's not that innocent." You remember that comment? He said, and they all went after him. So I'm not saying you're wrong, but I don't think he would have made that comment if he's part of the deep state.
Well, if you look at, in my eyes, the deep state are the people that killed John F. Kennedy, right? The people, Oliver North is part of the deep state. The guy that brought 50 tons of cocaine into L.A. alone, pure cocaine. And then that doesn't talk about Minna, Arkansas, or the Air Force Base down in Florida, Homestead Air Force Base. Doesn't talk about all of the other cocaine that he brought in, and the gun running, and the money laundering, and the
and all the conspiracies with Clinton and his ties with cocaine. Yeah, there are all these conspiracies.
Well,
I got to let you go. I'm up against the clock. I'm sorry.
Well, again, deep state is Trump.
All right. 23 minutes for the top of the hour. It's Thursday, March 14th, 2019, 27 degrees outside. Tommy Galoff, your morning mayor in the house. Shaman Taubin, I don't know, 1/4 man, 1/4 amazing, 1/4 pit bull, 1/4 Renaissance man.
I'm barking. And the righteous eagle man holding my back.
That's right. Well, let's do a couple text lines here real quick, and then we got to take a phone call. Let's see. Manafort was with the Trump campaign for only 100 days. The deep state is the endless, unelected, unregulated bureaucracy. The politicians come and go, but the deep state is there forever, and I would tend to agree with that. I think the people behind the lines that write all the bills and everything are the true folks we need to be worried about. And don't be fooled. The caller is part of the deep state, the caller earlier, so we'll see how that goes. But let's see. I think that pretty well takes care of the text messages. It does. Let's take a phone call. 522-TALK is the number. 522-8255. Calling you on the Morning Soapbox. What's up?
Hey, morning, Tom. God, I hope I'm not part of the deep state.
Well,
it scared me. It's in my bones. Hey, good morning to a man called Shane.
Yeah, there you are.
Good morning, good sir. Thank you.
I hope, guys, you keep taking Andy's calls because, some of the things that come out of his mouth, my wife and I will be sitting there having our morning coffee. We start laughing so hard, the coffee comes up our nose sometimes, and it burns because the guy sounds like he's articulate.
Yeah.
But some of the things that the ideology, is so flawed, it's just hard to believe. Yeah. Didn't Martin Luther King say he longed for the day where we judged a man not based on the color of his skin, but on the content of his character?
Pretty much. Yeah, pretty much.
But Andy said this morning totally flies in the face of that.
Mm-hmm.
He's about apparently quotas and ratios. So I'm thinking either Martin Luther King was a racist, which I know he's not, or Andy is. Because what he says is in direct contradiction to that statement from the great man Martin Luther King.
There you go.
That's pretty much it, other than I guess Andy must also believe that Abraham Lincoln was a Democrat. And that all civil rights were started by the Democrat Party. So he just really needs to brush up on his history because, they say if you don't know history, you're doomed to repeat it. And I like the guy, but I would definitely put him in that category.
All right. Hey, thanks for the call. All
There
right.
you go.
Yeah. Well, we're talking about the deep state. I think there's a couple deep states. I agree with the texter that there is one in Washington, D.C., the people behind the lobbyists, the people behind the scenes that write the bills and do all this crap. They stay there, and the politicians, as the texter said, come and go. In the case of Trump, though, I think Trump has a different deep state in that his deep state is in the business arena.
Correct.
He's got Wilbur Ross is in there, Betsy DeVos is in there. A lot of he had the guy from Carl's Jr. there for a while, Purdue, all these people from business outsiders, but you can't dispute the fact that also surrounding yourself with Cohen and Manafort and some of those folks, you can make a pretty good case that Donald is not siding with the best people he could find.
Yeah, I agree with you.
So
he made some bad choices.
I think so, and those bad choices have come to light, and they're going to prison, and as they rightfully should. And
100%.
Yeah,
that's what the law.
Yeah.
If you can't do the time, don't do the crime.
There you go. Let's take a phone call. 522 Talk is the number. Caller, you on the air. What's up?
Yeah, I think it's interesting what the obsessions are of these grown men Democrats' minds. And I don't say it directly, but inadvertently, you'll get my point. De Blasio. He's switching up the entire school menu for all the kids.
Mm-hmm.
I know.
One day a week, no meat. So, and basically it comes down to what are they so obsessed with cow butts and little kids farting for?
Yeah,
it's pretty Chesterish, if you ask me. Why are asses on liberals' minds? Why are they obsessed with that?
Yeah. Don't have an answer for you.
Gross.
Sorry.
It's pretty gross.
Can't go there.
So, I can't explain
it's after
that
8 o'clock.
Anyway.
Hey, thanks for the call. All right. We got to take a quick break. We'll be right back. Hang on. 13 minutes for the top of the hour. It's Thursday, March 14, 2019. 27 degrees outside. Tom Eagle off your morning mayor in the house. Shane Montalban on the line in Vancouver, British Columbia. And it's the Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane. And Shane.
I got to interrupt you before you get a caller. Everybody, I'm so happy with all the calls today. My first party line.
All right.
Three of us out during the commercial talking. How fun was this?
Yeah, I know. In case you aren't aware of it, if you do call during a commercial break when I put you on hold, you could be talking to Shane offline. So
yeah, it's great.
So it's entertaining. So, but we got two callers on the line. Are they both ladies, or we got a man and a woman?
Oh no, it was a party line, man and woman and man.
Well, we're going to take the man first because he called first.
Okay.
So, caller, you're on the air. What's up?
Thanks for the equality in giving me the first dibs.
Right. Well, you were first in line, so.
Hey, I just wanted to make a comment. This fellow was talking about Trump being in the deep state. And,
sure.
I think that Manafort guy only worked for him for like 100 days.
Yeah.
Nobody liked him, and then he got busted doing something, and he fired him.
Yeah.
So it kind of shoots that in the pants a little bit right there.
Mm-hmm.
But, some of the other stuff that's taking place in America right now, I just can't help but think a lot of these 35 and unders, these millennials, they wish they had something to hang their hat on. They look back at the past, they see the women's rights movement, they see, how blacks were freed and given equality with the civil rights movements of 62 and 64. And, you keep going up and, emancipation of kids going from age of 21 to vote to the age of 18. And it just keeps going further and further. But this new generation, they really have nothing that they can point to that's their great, accomplishment. So they're trying to rehash all of these things that we've gone through again, like re-accentuate the pain and act like they're the ones now who are trying to finally fix it all for everybody, when actually it seems like relations and divisions have gotten so much worse than they were since I was a kid. The 70s were tough, but the 80s and 90s were like a great time when we were all working together. And now,
and what's worse is you got to wear a seatbelt now.
Yeah. So it's like, it's sure they're hanging their hat on this environment thing, which, it can be dubious sometimes.
Yeah.
But it's like, I'm so tired of being lectured by people who are telling me what my moral ideology is and should be when they don't really even have a clue what's taking place because nobody taught them any history.
I agree with that. Hey, thanks for the call.
Take care.
I got to get to the other one here before we have to take a break. Caller, thanks for waiting. You are on the Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane. What's up?
Hi, it's Gay, and I'm probably going to lose my conservative card over this one, but one of my favorite shows on BBC used to be Yes, Minister. And if anybody's ever seen that show, it talks about how the bureaucrats run the world and how they influence the elected people to do the dumbest stuff possible. And I just wonder, isn't that kind of ironic that it's still the same?
Well, the British, they have a great sense of humor at some things. Ain't that the truth?
Well, like I said, I'll probably lose my conservative card over that, but I used to find that show quite fascinating. Yeah. And I believe it's pretty much the same here, that, the bureaucrats run the show and just feed crap down the elected people's throats, and they buy it and just say the dumbest stuff possible.
All right.
So there you have it. It's while it changes, and if you listen to Plato or Socrates, they say the same thing about their government. So it hasn't changed not one little bit.
Well, say a couple of Hail Marys and put 12% in the pot, and you'll get your conservative card back.
There you go. Have a good day. Bye.
All right. Thanks a lot.
You too.
All right. We'll be right back with more. Here's a Rush Update. 3 minutes before the top of the hour, it is the KMMS Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane. Tom Eaglehoff, your morning mayor. Shane Montalban on the line with me from Vancouver, British Columbia. And we need to finish up some text here while time's running out, Shane. We should also mention our poll question of the day. Who's your favorite male actor? We've got choices: Sean Connery, Will Smith, Jim Carrey, Morgan Freeman, Robert De Niro, Clint Eastwood, or other. So you can put your folks in there as well. Let's see. A good one from the caller on the Ass Association. The Ass Association between Democrats and asses. Maybe they're just referring to what they see in the mirror.
Ooh.
Anyone against our republic are part of and support the deep state. Since there are Congress members from other countries that detest our republic, I am thrilled that Shane informs us and supports our freedoms and a republic, even though he's in Canada.
Yeah, that's very kind of them.
Yeah, just because your attorney turned out to be a dirtbag doesn't mean you knew he was a dirtbag. I know absolutely nothing about my private attorney's life or his business dealings. You hire an attorney to defend you. So there you go. Calling Trump part of the deep state is like saying that the people are actually the devil. Okay, maybe the caller has a point. All right, so that'll get us up to date on our text line for the moment, and so we're going to we got about a minute here, Shane. So
yes, indeed,
been a great morning. We got lots of great calls and lots of information. We still didn't get through all 5 things.
I know. I'm fired up for tomorrow already.
Yeah, we'll have to start with 6 things you need to know tomorrow.
Very good.
Yeah, tomorrow at 8 o'clock, Jennifer will be in, and it'll be finally Friday. Finally, we're excited about that. End of the week, we got nice weather on the way coming over the weekend and next week. So we will be happy to get some warm weather in here, at least some warm afternoons. Maybe we can get rid of some of this snow and whatever, So anyway. Say goodbye, Shane. No, he can't hear me. Say goodbye.
There, buddy. I'm gone.
Say goodbye, Shane.
Thank you, Mayor. Everyone be happy, be safe.
All right. Thanks, Shane. All right. We will be back tomorrow at bright and early at 6 a.m. with more KMMS Morning Soapbox. Don't forget our poll question. Who's your favorite actor? Go to KMMSAM.com. and click on our poll question over there, or go to your smart app, AM 1450 KMMS on your smartphone, and vote in our poll, and we'll see who the favorite actor is of that group. Maybe tomorrow we'll have the actresses. We'll see what we can come up with. All right, that does it for me. I am out of here. Have a safe day.